Connected. All right, we're here. Also do this. Okay. Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, college football edition. Today, we finally made it. It's beat Michigan week. It's rivalry week. And for number 2 versus number 3, we had to do something special. We're doing a live podcast. Also saving time for, he's here right now, head editor of the L7C, Justin, doesn't have to worry about editing this one since it's going live. He just has to worry about betting on those games this week.
I haven't even looked at the lines yet for college yet.
I know the OSU Michigan line, but Justin's on here since it's a big podcast. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Of course, we got the captain Byron here. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. Always happy to come on here and talk college football with the homies. Talk about beat Michigan week. We're doing good today.
And Cedric will be joining us. He is running a little late. But let's get right into it because there's a lot to talk about. This past Saturday was Survival Saturday, Ohio State included. So, as usual, Byron, take it away on what happened during the OSU-Maryland game.
A lot happened. We weren't looking good that first half. We were down 13-10 at the end of the first half. And then the second half, we basically got it together, ended up winning 43-30 against Maryland. C.J. Stroud had a okay game, 18 for 30, 241 yards, 1 touchdown. The running game stepped up. Dallin Hayden, 27 carries, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns. Travion Henderson had 11 carries, 19 rushing yards. He did get hurt during the game. Mecca Buka only had 1 carry for 1 yard. Mecca Buka had 6 receptions for 82 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., 5 receptions for 68 yards. Travion Henderson caught the lone touchdown, 1 reception for 31 yards. Julian Fleming, 2 receptions, 30 yards. Cade Stover, 2 receptions, 20 yards. And then Dallin Hayden, 2 receptions, 10 yards. At the end of the game, our defense really stepped it up. Maryland had potential to score again and tie up the game. But combination of Zach Harrison and Still Chambers caused a fumble, scoop and score for Still Chambers, and that's how we ended up winning 43-30. And then, like I said, Dallin Hayden really stepped it up this game due to the injuries to Travion Henderson and Mali Williams. He looked really, really good against Maryland. Would like to shout out Baby Tua Tagovailoa, 26 for 36, 293 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was really just torching us through the air.
Justin, what did you see in the game? Oop. What did you see in the game, Justin? These were one of those games where the final score didn't show how close this game really was.
Mm-hmm.
No, it does not. It was real close. I think the real story of the game was Baby Tua. He was making plays literally all game long, and yeah, that was and then Ohio State was just bullshitting. I mean, they were just bullshitting the first half. Defense wasn't stopping them. I mean, the offense was doing all right. It was really just the defense couldn't really contain Baby Tua.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in that same game, he became the all-time leader in Maryland history. So,
I believe so.
And I will say, with the quarterbacks that we have played, we haven't played a quarterback as dynamic or as good as him. And we probably, depending on what you think of McCarthy this week, probably won't play another one as good or better than him, depending on what we do against Michigan and if we win.
I agree. Michigan really relies on their run game. McCarthy is not really that good. He reminds me of the Penn State quarterback,
Clifford.
Yeah.
I will say also though, but Clifford, it came down to a fourth quarter game as well.
I think Clifford throws better than McCarthy.
Yeah, I would say he throws. It's just Clifford always gives you one.
Mm-hmm.
That's his problem.
He definitely turns that bitch over, but I haven't really seen I mean, in the game against Illinois, he did make a couple plays downfield when the running game wasn't working at all during their drive to come and win the game. But yeah, I don't really see it with him. Like Blake Corum is pretty much their entire offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would also, because now we're at the end, and when we actually play a quarterback who can throw it a little bit, our corners are our weakest part of our defense.
Yes, they are. Their front seven comes alive, but man, those cornerbacks, tragic.
Yeah, which is weird because that used to be one of the strongest suits of the defense because we've had top 3 corners get drafted in like the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Last one was, he's on the Lions. Why am I blanking on his name?
Jeff Okudah.
Jeff Okudah.
Yep, Jeff Okudah. Yep.
But we weren't the only ones who were close. Literally the game before Byron, like you mentioned, Michigan pulled it out on top against Illinois. And if you haven't looked at the Big Ten West, there's no team that actually controls their own destiny. I think this is like a first in college football. All of them need someone else to win-lose combination to get into the title game, which
I
is
actually have
crazy.
that documented. So
Go ahead.
So the Big Ten West, like 4 teams are tied for first place.
Mm-hmm.
We have Iowa 7-4, Purdue 7-4, Minnesota 7-4, and then Illinois 7-4. Iowa plays Nebraska. They need to win, and an Illinois loss because they have beat Purdue and Minnesota, and lost to Illinois. Purdue plays Indiana. They need a win and an Iowa loss. They beat Illinois and Minnesota, and lost to Iowa. Minnesota needs a win, and Illinois, Iowa, and Purdue to lose because they have lost to all 3 teams. And then Illinois plays Northwestern. They need to win, and a Purdue lost because they have beat Iowa and Minnesota and lost to Purdue.
All right.
I wasn't even paying attention to any of that, but this sounds like a whole. It sounds like the Pac-12. Sounds like the Pac-12.
Well,
and the Big Ten West.
It sounds like the Pac-12 other than USC.
Yeah, USC who clinched their spot, and we got some people in the chat. Now we got Patrick in the chat, and we got Chuck saying "Go Tigers," so which we will talk about the Tigers. But yeah, Michigan pulled it out on top, last second field goal. I mean, they were but obviously for people who listen, you listen to me and Justin do the NFL podcast. One of the biggest differences between the NFL and college is NFL. There's no such thing as looking ahead. Like that does not exist in the NFL. College. That exists in college, and both teams were looking ahead.
Yeah, when you're in college, when you're that much more talented than the team you're playing against, then you can fall into that trap of thinking that we can just walk on the field and beat these guys. Mm-hmm. Not the case in the National Football League.
Not at all. But Michigan pulled it out on top. I know in Ohio State things we were all saying, man, Michigan's going to screw this up for us, but then we were about to screw it up for us. I don't want to say too much. They remain undefeated. Brent Bielema had issues with the referee. Michigan stated that they are better than they were last year, which I don't think they are because they do not have Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Their defense was definitely better last year. They had another defensive end. He was the African dude who tore his ACL before, or was it? It was a fucking terrible injury before draft day. But yeah, the defense definitely isn't as good as it was last year.
Yeah. So I will say the other one this was the biggest game of the weekend just because of rank on rank, as this week was slow. USC versus UCLA. Justin, you're kind of becoming the new poster guy for the Pac-12. You're singing their praises a lot, and USC did pull it out on top on this one.
I just stay up and watch those games. I stay up and watch them. They're exciting.
Well, there's no defense over there.
Oh, they play other than Oregon State. Ain't no fucking Pac-12 team playing any goddamn defense. It is fucking wild.
Justin, what did you see during that game, man? I watched the replays and all that.
Yeah, so game started out. It was at the Rose Bowl. UCLA was at home. UCLA jumps out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. So you're thinking, oh, damn, like USC's finally about to get exposed, yada, yada, yada. And then the quarterback from UCLA, Dorian Thompson Robinson, he throws 2 picks in the last 2 minutes of the game. And then ends up going into halftime 21-20 UCLA, and then the third quarter just became the Caleb Williams show. USC just starts going off. They scored 14 points in that quarter, and they end up going on top. They were what was the score? It was 34 to 28 going into the fourth quarter, and then USC gets another 14 points, and then Dorian Thompson-Robinson is just trying his best to just keep up. He's scoring touchdowns. He really impressed me that game, the UCLA quarterback, but USC just ends up pulling it out. Caleb Williams was fucking phenomenal. He's going to be the number one pick in the 2024 NFL draft because he was just making some throws. There was one throw in the second quarter where he's rolling left, and he's a right-handed quarterback, and just fucking darts it between two people to get a first down. Just crazy stuff. He was 32 for 43, 470 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Addison, arguably one of the best receivers in the country, 11 receptions, 178 yards, a touchdown. Like, USC is fucking powerful offensively. Defense, they can get some turnovers. They got 4 turnovers in the game against UCLA, but yeah, it was just UCLA's turnovers that really killed them because they were able to match USC pretty much point for point, and they were winning in the game in the first quarter. They were up 14-0 in the fourth quarter. Just a crazy game.
And was that game too, which Justin, I will give you credit when I was doing my research for this episode. That single game right now on Vegas Insider, and most people, is currently propelled Caleb Williams, who at the beginning of the year was not really in the Heisman contention, but currently he's minus 108 on Vegas Insider to now CJ's minus 102. So
yeah, my odds on the book that sportsbook that I used, that had CJ's Heisman odds at minus 120, and Caleb is second in the Heisman with plus 110. So yeah, Caleb Williams
he shot
had a
up.
breakout Yeah, he definitely shot up after that performance. He had a breakout performance. If he does it again against Notre Dame, if he has a good game against Notre Dame this week, and CJ Stroud struggles, now CJ Stroud goes the fuck off against Michigan, he's winning the Heisman because literally everyone in their fucking mom's going to be watching that game. So, on that side, if Caleb can go off against Notre Dame and CJ struggles against Michigan, I think he's going to end up winning the Heisman.
It was going to be very interesting to see because that is one of my points when we actually get to talking about OSU Michigan. But OSU Michigan is at 12 o'clock on Fox. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame and USC is at 7:30, the ABC night game. So that whole day, and you know how these voters are. It could be who's the last person you saw. Like if they have comparable games, 3 touchdowns, whatever. But obviously the beating number 3 would help CJ.
I'm just saying that, like, if CJ goes off in like any capacity, like OSU Michigan is typically like the most watched college football game of the year every single year.
Yep.
That's why I'm saying that. I don't think motherfuckers is going to stay up to. I mean, it is at 7:30, so the East Coast might be. Yeah, it's at 7:30, so the East Coast might be up for it. But
they will because it has big playoff implications.
It does, but there's just going to be so many more eyeballs on that OSU Michigan game. But yeah, if he goes off or if it's close, Caleb Williams can definitely win the Heisman.
Big Ten title game is typically that Saturday at 8 o'clock. Typically, the Big Ten gets the last game, hence why we were there.
In the Pac-12, usually plays their game on Friday. They play.
Yeah,
they're one of the first teams, conferences to play their conference champion game.
Yeah, because we always do that. We get the last one 8 o'clock at Lucas Oil. Hence why that year in 2014 we were the last performance the committee saw. That propelled us over them. But also want to say welcome in Cedric into the live L7C college football pod. Before we get to the game, just quick thing, newest CFP rankings. I did write these notes thinking nothing was going to change, and there's only one slight change, but all the teams that control their destiny are the same. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, USC, LSU, and Clemson barely. They're the only teams that control their own destiny in this college football thing. Georgia Georgia plays Georgia Tech. Georgia's 11-0. They've already clinched the SEC East. They're going to the championship game. Obviously, number 2 Ohio State plays number 3 Michigan. Winner represents the East in the Big Ten championship game. Number 4 TCU is playing against Iowa State. TCU has to be careful because Iowa State does have a habit of upsetting top Big 12 teams the past decade. They've done it multiple times. TCU, though, has already clinched a spot in the Big 12 title game as well. And then you got USC 10-1 against Notre Dame. USC's already clinched a spot in the Pac-12 championship. You got LSU against my favorite team in the world, Texas A&M. LSU has already LSU has already clinched a spot in the SEC championship game. They're actually one of the biggest stories this year, winning the SEC West, and they played Georgia. And then you have Clemson versus South Carolina. At that point, they were number 7. It's changed a little bit. But they've already clinched a spot in the ACC championship game, and they play number 18 North Carolina. The newest rankings are out. Every 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the same. The only difference is now USC, Georgia, USC and LSU moved up. Tennessee dropped, and Alabama and Clemson. That's really it. And Alabama is ahead of Clemson, which, okay.
Why?
That's a whole other thing. Just Alabama's 7, Clemson is 8, USC is 6, LSU is 5. Tennessee dropped because they got shockingly upset by South Carolina, and also
No. They didn't. They got embarrassed by South
well,
Carolina.
it was still a shocking upset.
Yeah.
No
I
one-
just wanted to let it. It's also embarrassing.
I mean, when your star quarterback tears the ACL, there's really no hope for you.
Florida beat South Carolina last week. I just want to make that known. And then lost to Vanderbilt this week. I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Vanderbilt's on a roll.
Spencer Rattler played his fucking ass.
He had the best game he's ever had, and this was a guy.
Bro, stupid. Like, going the fuck off. And then, like, it was like 35-31. So Tennessee was coming back. Then Hooker tore
Yeah,
his
and then he tore his ACL. Yep, because they were coming back. I would also say too that with college football, each top team at the beginning of the day was barely surviving, so you knew someone was going to fall. Like, it just unfortunately was Tennessee, but then again, for them to be 11 and they're going to probably be 11-2 by the end of the season, and back to relevancy. And obviously, Hyatt's going to be a top 10 pick in the draft. So, just shout out to them. They're at 10. Penn State's at 11. Notre Dame is at 15, which is kind of crazy to think that the same team that lost to Marshall has corrected the ship. And shout out to Brother Freeman out there. So,
Shout out, Brother Freeman.
God's work out there.
God's work, and they play USC. So what are y'all looking at with these games? Obviously, all the games that are played are rivalries. Besides Ohio State, Michigan, the biggest one is probably USC and Notre Dame. But do you think anyone else is on upset alert this week?
I think.
Georgia, Clemson, maybe.
Yeah, Clemson.
I mean, after South Carolina just...
Yeah, South Carolina ain't to be played with. South Carolina beat Kentucky, which flipped their season. So I'm Clemson. I'll be worried. Where's that game at? Isn't it in Columbia?
Yeah, it's at Clemson.
Oh, is that Clemson?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. We'll see then.
Well,
South Carolina can go on the road and win in Death Valley then. But if it was in Columbia, South Carolina at home for South Carolina, like Clemson will probably be in trouble.
You know, if Clemson loses, that's going to cause some issues, because the way I'm looking at this thing right now,
Alabama can't get in, bro. Like, there's no way.
Well, I'm not going to say.
I don't think there's any way if that's where you're going.
No, I'm not going with them, even though them being at 7 is problematic. I don't like that. But Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, only one of them's getting in. The other one's done. They're out. It's just the way. No, if everyone stays course, if TCU wins and USC wins, yeah, the loser of OSU, Michigan, they're out. They'll be staying at 5.
I don't think TCU's going to end this season undefeated.
I don't think so either, but just...
I'm saying that right now.
Well, they only have 2 games left. It's either they lose this or they lose the Big 12 championship.
I know. I'm telling you right now, they're losing one of those games. They won't be undefeated.
Well, we'll say for now that they are, because if they aren't, then that's going to be a whole other thing. USC is going to get in because they're going to win the Pac-12 because Georgia is going to beat LSU. So you would have OSU or Michigan, Georgia, USC, and TCU if all these things stay course. Now, if LSU does the unthinkable and beats Georgia, Georgia and LSU are both getting in, and LSU will be the first 2-loss team in the playoff. Then you got hell.
It's a lot of teams fighting for only 2 spots.
Yeah, because if LSU wins, both teams are going. Both teams are going.
And I'll say the Big Ten champ gets in.
Yep.
If OSU and Michigan don't lose in the championship game, whoever wins that game. So that's one spot.
One spot, and then you'll have a USC. Then you can have the 1-loss Big Ten champion. 1-loss Big Ten runner-up, especially if they lose on the OSU Michigan one. Especially if they lose on like a field goal. And if Clemson wins the ACC, that's what I'm saying. Like if Clemson wins, they're gonna get ranked above Alabama. So then you got a 1-loss Clemson ACC versus a 1-loss USC Pac-12 versus a one. Go ahead.
That's interesting. I don't know who's going to get in between a 1-loss USC Pac-12 champ and a 1-loss Clemson ACC champ. That would be very interesting because I don't know who the committee is picking in that situation. I would think they're going with Clemson because of pedigree.
Yeah, if
Yeah, I
TCU.
think they would go Clemson too.
I agree because Clemson has provided. They've proved the committee right. They have the second most championships in this CFP era behind Alabama. So, but that's what it could come down to. If TCU loses,
Didn't Clemson lose to Notre Dame?
They did.
they did. That's their
And
one
in this
loss.
scenario, then USC would beat Notre Dame if they're in, right?
Yeah, if they're
USC's probably played more ranked teams.
if
Pac-12 wasn't good this year.
yeah if they're in, yes. Like if all things considered, but Clemson's also going to be. They'll finish their thing against a ranked team in North Carolina. It's all going to be like you said, Cedric, who's played more ranked teams and all that stuff, but also like that pedigree. Because it's like I'm not gonna disrespect the Pac-12, but when the Pac-12 goes to the big dance, they get smoked.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
not
thing with
wrong.
you. That's the thing with USC. They do win the Pac-12 championship. Like they're going to go into that playoff and get fucking dog walked because that defense is fucking horrible. Like they really aren't good at all.
And I think they'll be the 4th seed, and they'd have to play Georgia first. And I don't.
Yeah, they'll get killed.
Whoever it is, if it's Clemson or USC, they're getting.
Oh yeah, they're getting killed. Georgia, unless something crazy happens, Georgia's national championship spot.
I don't know. I like the matchup Georgia and Clemson better than I
Clemson?
like USC and Georgia. Clemson can play defense.
Clemson does have some. Clemson has some dogs on defense.
Yeah,
But
Clemson
that
can play some
offense-
damn defense.
I'm pulling this. I think about like Tennessee though. Tennessee's probably healthy quarterback, right?
Mhm.
Arguably the most high-powered offense in college football. And Georgia literally made them look like, hey, it's irrelevant. We don't really give a fuck about you.
I'm just saying, don't sleep on Clemson if they can get into that spot with a month for prep. Because I literally know USC cannot stop literally anyone. Like any of the fucking top 4, I know USC cannot stop that. Clemson, on the other hand, they've done it all year and they just laid an egg against Notre Dame. So I wouldn't. If I'm Clemson and I'm in that spot, I'm not scared of Georgia. Is what I'm saying.
So Justin, what happens if unthinkable happens? USC, Clemson. Well, LSU they're going to lose, but USC, Clemson, TCU all lose.
So you're just creating chaos now.
I know he's just making up shit.
You don't think USC can lose to Notre Dame?
They absolutely can. You said Georgia loses
No.
too?
USC, Clemson, and TCU all lose because you said something earlier. Bama is at 7.
Oh dear God.
That has a lot of shit that needs to fucking happen.
Bama's last game's against Auburn. So after this game, they're gonna sit at 10-2, something crazy, and then they could just sit and watch chaos.
Are you saying Bama wins though?
Yeah, they're gonna. Auburn's terrible. They're gonna beat
Oh
them.
man, Nick Saban got money, bro. Nick Saban got money.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that's the only. That's why I don't like Alabama at 7.
Well, if all those teams lose, who are you saying to win the SEC in that scenario? Georgia?
Georgia still wins the SEC.
Yeah, Georgia will win the SEC.
All right. So we got Georgia. So we have Georgia 1, Big Ten champ 2, and then TCU.
No, TCU loses too.
I know. I'm reading I'm reading it. It's like there'll be the rankings. It'll be TCU lost, LSU lost, USC lost, and Clemson lost. Fuck.
Because we know they lend a Big Ten, another Big Ten team. That's not happening.
The only conference who's had 2 is the SEC.
If in that scenario, then Michigan's penciled in for me. Even with
You think they're gonna make an exception this year?
Whoever the Big Ten loser is, whoever lost that Ohio State Michigan game, if all 3 of those teams lose, I'm putting them in.
I don't think Michigan would get in.
Over Bama.
I don't think they would get in. Their schedule's been ass.
Yes,
I'm
now.
with you, but I don't trust the committee. Like, I'm with you. It makes sense to put them in, but the committee loves the SEC.
They've proven them right. That's the problem.
I think. All right. So you're pretty much saying the only way the Big Ten can get 2 teams is if Ohio State loses on Saturday, and they're waiting, and all this chaos happens.
Pretty
that's
much.
That's what I'm seeing. That's what y'all pretty much just said.
Hey, I don't want 2 Big Ten teams, and I just want Ohio State in. I don't.
Hey, but if OSU loses that game and then chaos happens and they get in, I'll really like OSU to win the playoff, especially if it's against Michigan in a rematch.
That is true, but if something like that did happen, Ohio State would be 4, and we'd play Georgia. I don't want to. I already said last week. Georgia is better than us right now. They're better than us. I mean,
yeah.
Unfortunately,
I mean,
definitely defensively.
Oh, we'd get after the things I've seen, it'd be bad. It would be bad.
Trust our front 7. Do not trust our cornerbacks.
But no, we're also saying like these situations, the games are close. Now, if OSU just gets stomped or Michigan gets stomped, then you can just forget about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But all 3 of those teams you just said losing, that's a low possibility.
Oh, it's low. I don't know who USC would play in the Pac-12 title game.
Me, neither. But I think Oregon has the inside track if they win next week.
That's what I saw.
But Oregon State's no slouch either. Like that's the only team in the Pac-12 that plays defense. And Bo Nix is hurt. He was playing hurt against Utah last week.
Oregon State, number 21 team right now in the country. Man, let's talk about this as a time because I got to throw some shade. How Tulane is ranked higher than Texas A&M in college football.
It's crazy.
Here we go.
No, that's all I'm saying. That's That's it.
Hey, shout out to the American Conference, man. They got some hitters up in there. Tulane,
Yeah.
UC this week.
Yeah.
This week on Friday.
I mean, hey, that's next Ohio State coach in waiting, Luke Fickell. So once Ryan Day leaves, because once Ryan Day gets his title, he's gone. He's out.
You think so?
Well, bro, the NFL's been calling.
The Bears were calling last year.
The Bears called him last year.
The way college football is going, I have a feeling he's going to stay. I really do. Like, this shit's pretty much NFL light anyway with the fucking transfer portal. You could turn over your team in a year like USC did.
But you know how coaches are, Justin. They don't think like that. They think of the next challenge.
Bro, I don't know. You got this man a jet in a new house? I think he did.
Okay. We don't. I wasn't gonna say anything about Texas A&M, so I'm not gonna. I've been saying good things about USC. I'm not going there with them. But I would say too. I mean, for the people who just want to try it, so we'll see. But that's what I think. I think once he wins a title, someone's gonna come calling. It might be the Saints.
Hey, sorry, DA, but I would choose Ryan Day over him in a heartbeat.
But okay. A lot of chaos happening, but let's actually get to the game. Ohio State, Michigan. This is the 117th meeting between the two. Michigan leads the all-time series 59-51 with 6 ties. Since the legendary Jim Tressel promise, Ohio State is 17-3 in this game from 2001 to 2021. Last year, obviously, Michigan bullied Ohio State 42-27, ending Michigan's 8-game losing streak to Ohio State. The reason it's 8 games, do remember that we did not play in 2020 due to COVID. This is the first time both teams are 11-0 in the game since 2006, where that game was the Game of the Century title, which every 1 versus 2 gets Game of the Century title. This game is in Columbus, Ohio, and for people listening, the last time Michigan won in Columbus was in 2000, 22 years ago.
I wasn't even watching football yet.
There's a lot of people who weren't even alive who may listen to this podcast. This obviously, Justin said, it's the biggest game of the day, biggest game of the year. College game day and big noon kickoff are going to be there. Guys, let's start off with the captain, Byron. What are your keys to this game?
Stopping, well, depends on if Blake Corum plays or not, because he did get injured during that Illinois game. So if he is good to go, they have that 2-headed running back program that literally ran 400 and some odd yards against Penn State. So my first key to the game is stopping that run game, because I don't think they could catch up with us passing it through the air. So if we can stop the run game, unlike we did last year, I think we would be in good shape to beat them, because I don't trust J.J. McCarthy to throw touchdowns, because he only had 14 touchdowns this year.
Yeah. Cedric, what are your keys to the game?
For OSU, I mean,
Yeah.
got to stop the run. Got to stop the run. 2 running backs are actually phenomenal. Work very well in tandem with each other. I mean, the quarterback can scramble, but we have to stop the run. Need to come out with strong offensive presence, because Michigan's defense is no slouch. I feel like if we give them opportunities, we end up shooting ourselves in the foot a lot more than helping us, especially with this team. And they're coming off the high of last year, so I know for a fact they're coming for another.
Mm-hmm.
They would love to go 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the shit talk would never end, and I would fucking be super pissed. Super pissed. Because Desmond Howard, fuck that guy.
Michigan's the only CFP pick he has that's still in play. Justin, what are your keys to the game, man?
I am currently checking the weather forecast.
Ooh.
It's looking like it's going to rain on Saturday. So, my key to the game is... Huh?
Say air it out?
I don't think he's saying air it out in the rain.
My key to the game for Ohio State, they need to get their running game established. Illinois was able to get 148 rushing yards on Michigan in this past game. So I think if Ohio State can establish their running game and get a good balance of the offense and just score the ball efficiently and execute on Michigan's defense, because it can happen, because like we said last year, they don't got some of the dudes that they have on defense that they had last year. So if Ohio State can establish their run game and get a good balance going, and then start peppering the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Abuka and Julian, then I think Ohio State can run away with it. But that and then we gotta see the health of Blake Corum. If he's playing in the game, gotta stop him. But if Ohio State can stop him, I don't really see what else Michigan's going to be able to do. I know you guys are worried about the corners, but Michigan really doesn't have the quarterback or the receivers to exploit the less than average cornerback play, DB play of Ohio State.
I think my biggest thing goes with yours, Justin, but controlling time of possession. If you look at the past 4 games, this game was literally like by a minute, so I'm going to still say Maryland won time of possession. The past 4 games, we've lost time of possession. All these teams have actually outgained yards on us. Even freaking Northwest, like, that's embarrassing. But The only difference between all these games is that we forced the turnovers. Like, we've gotten them. What is going to happen when adversity hits and we're the ones turning the ball over? Like, we don't win some of these games that we've played if we turn the ball over. Michigan, it's a rivalry game. Like you just said, it's going to be raining. The ball's going to be slippery. There's going to be some potential fumbles, picks. What are we going to do when we turn it over?
Never mind. Don't air it out. My bad. I thought you said it wasn't going to be
No,
raining.
it is.
I said there's rain in the forecast, like 8% chance. Weather Channel app said it's going to be a quick rain in the morning and then a steady rain throughout the afternoon. So
Hey,
Yeah.
don't air
take
that
that for
out.
what you will.
No, because our defense, they have been allowing yards, but when it's time to get that big play, big turnover, they haven't. I can't say that's going to be consistent, especially against a good team like Michigan. So we need to control the clock, get in, get out, and get the win, man. I don't know.
That's why I'm saying Ohio State needs to run the ball. It's not like they have shitty running backs. It's not like they have a shitty offensive line. If they can commit to the running game, like Michigan's not going to be lining it up
Yeah.
offensively throwing the ball, especially in the fucking rain too, and especially if Blake Corum ain't playing. So if you can set a tone, establish the line of scrimmage, and say you ain't about to come to Columbus and beat us fucking 2 years in a row, run that shit down their fucking mouths, control that game, control the clock, and then if you do have some mistakes, it's not really going to matter because you're going to be up by a lot, and Michigan really can't. It's not built to come back from that if you're able to build a lead like that.
Yep.
If you're able to control the game like that. So that's really my key to the game. Ohio State really hasn't done that all year. They just rely on the big play a lot and turnovers on defense. But I think this is a week that Ryan Day is telling them, like, we need to establish our run game and control these guys. Like, that's what I think is going on in practice this week.
I agree because if you look at Ohio State, like you said, besides the big runs, we've had issues running. Like on fourth down, I don't know. If you don't trust your running back to get a 4th and 1 and we're doing shotgun and CJ Stroud just gets smoked in the shotgun, we got problems. Now, Justin, does your thing change depending on who is running? Because we do not know if Mayan and Henry are...
I don't care. I don't care who's running.
You don't care?
All three of those backs can get it done. All three of them. Like it doesn't matter who is carrying the ball back there. Myron Williams is good. Hayden proved that he can get some shit done too, and Travion Henderson is hard too. So it doesn't matter who's back there getting the ball. They just need to establish a run game with who is ever going to begin the touches.
I will say that will matter if we get to Georgia.
Yes.
Yes,
Definitely.
but we're just dealing with Michigan right now.
Byron, you were going to say something about the run game and stuff.
No, I agree. I think we need to establish our run game because some of our games, our run game has been not the greatest, like not what I'm used to. I have like Travion Henderson and Maya Williams, but again, they've been dealing with health issues like the entire year. Like one game, Maya Williams will be hurt, but Travion Henderson will play, or one game, Travion Henderson will be hurt and Maya Williams will play. So hopefully they're both 100% on Saturday, and we can get that run game going. But I do trust Dallin Hayden as a running back. He's looked good. There's a couple games he did have over 100 yards, so I think he's a good backup if they're Mayan and Henderson are not good to go.
And also just throwing it in real quick, because I always do, OSU 7.5 point favorite currently.
They can definitely cover that. I think it's going to be tighter than that, but they can definitely cover 7.
They could.
They could, but man, OSU has been negative against the spread this year.
We really have.
Well,
I know when
Ohio
your
State-
spread is like 30 and you only win by
Ohio
like 22.
Ohio State's a public team who is typically more talented than everyone else, so their lines are inflated. So it is what it is with that.
Cedric, did you want to add any other keys to the game? I will say McCarthy has only thrown 2 interceptions. He only has 14 touchdowns compared to CJ's 35 touchdowns.
They don't fucking throw the ball because they don't have to.
I know. They run and play D. I mean,
And that's what happened in the game last year. They didn't fucking have to throw. I know it was
Oh.
snowing and shit, but Ohio State couldn't fucking stop a goddamn thing.
oh,
I know Ohio State's run defense is going to be better on Saturday.
you were 100% right. We were bullied offensively and defensively. It was an embarrassment. and with Harbaugh saying the legendary line, you're born on third base to get a triple. I mean, about Ryan Day. So, but I will give, and I was talking about this with Justin on the NFL podcast. Make sure you listen to that. I will give Harbaugh credit because his team is the number 3 team in the country, and he wasn't even there most of the summer. Like, he was applying for the Minnesota Vikings job.
I forgot about that.
So he came, like, because one, after, like, he beat Ohio State, made it to the playoffs, he's like, I might go back to the NFL. He thought they were just giving him the job, but he actually had to, like, interview. So then he's like, F this, I'm coming back to Michigan. Wow, all those recruits during the summer went somewhere else because they didn't know who was going to be the head coach. So he's been able to do this without even, like, a full recruiting and, like, all that. So I got to give him credit, man.
Yeah, that is impressive. Because I definitely forgot he applied. Well, wanted to get the Minnesota Vikings job.
Mm-hmm. So, but we'll see, man. How do you guys feel if Ohio State loses, and this will be the first time in a long time, it'd be a losing streak, how do you then feel about what the rabid fan base would say about Mr. Ryan Day?
Oh, you know they're calling for the job. They called for the job last year.
Ridiculous, but yeah, there's going to be some pressure on him if he loses to Michigan 2 years in a row. But I wouldn't be calling for his job or anything. But all those fucking clowns up in Columbus, shit. All those clowns on the high street. I mean,
Yeah, grateful as hell.
They really are. They really are ungrateful because most of those people, they really forget what it was really like before Jim Tressel got there and changed that whole rivalry. They forgot we were soundly getting our asses dog shit walked, stomped for almost 20 years. So they really forget that pain. And then last year they experienced it. We were going to go to the playoffs. We could have had a shot. Michigan said nope. Everyone's like, oh, I want to play a good Michigan team and see what it's like. There you go.
well, hindsight 2020. I think Ohio State would have got their asses beat by Georgia like that too last year. So.
Well, I don't think we don't beat Alabama. We don't beat Alabama last year either. That's Heisman Bryce Young.
And
That's
Jameson
true.
Williams.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Jameson Williams, no, he hurt himself in the natty. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's the thing why I say cause to pause before we get to the playoffs with Ohio State fans who think we're entitled to a whole bunch of things. We win one title once every 20-something years. This is the golden era where we've been to multiple championships. And when we bitch about like not getting the playoffs, do remember the last national championship game, Alabama could have hung 100 on us if Devontae Smith was healthy. Let's. I know this podcast.
Oh, the 2020 COVID one? Off.
No, I know we are like rational OSU fans, but sometimes you would think that we're out here winning like Saban.
We are not.
I mean,
We don't pay people like Saban does.
It's only Saban who's doing that in Dabo. Like,
Oh, it's an anomaly, but you would think that like we win championships. We only got 7. Nick Saban has more titles than our damn whole history.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay,
Whoa.
but like you ain't gotta put it like that.
yeah, Saban's a goat, man.
I didn't say
That's
that. I was
just
like,
not. That's just not fucking normal. Is what
it's
I'm
not
saying.
normal.
It's
That's
not.
That's why I'm saying we need to. I want to win, and I think again. I've said it all year. This is our best chance to win a title since the 2019 team. But we're going. We just need to get to the dance, and not be the 4th seed.
I agree.
Yeah.
Not be the 4th seed.
I agree. And,
Not be the 4th
and
seed.
winning this game will help that case a lot because if Ohio State gets to the Big Ten championship game, they're whooping the dog shit of anyone the West has to offer. I hope it's Iowa. I fucking hope it's Iowa. 'cause
Oh, I am not previewing another Iowa game, dude.
I get so much pleasure in watching them get their asses beat. Oh my god! Like
We are not
Guys,
previewing
get a
another
fan
Iowa
there.
game. No, we are not. We might have to make an executive decision, especially as Sonny Boy's still the offensive coordinator over there.
Oh, he is. He's not losing his job because his dad's the coach.
Now, I will say, I kind of want to be Iowa because I feel like that's an easy win. I do not want Purdue. I do not want Purdue because those clowns always ruin things for no reason. And
Purdue's on the East, right?
no, they're on the West. They're in the
on the
mix
West.
for the West.
Yep.
Oh, I thought they were an East team.
Mm-mm.
Oh, shit.
And also, because I've been saying this all year, if you have not watched, go look at Muhammad Ibrahim's stats.
Oh, I don't want to face Minnesota either.
Don't say his name too many times.
Go look at that man's stats right now.
I think the biggest competition, if Illinois could somehow get in, it will be Illinois because their defense is like actually legit. Like they have a top 5 defense in the country,
They do. But
and their running back is he had a Heisman odds. He had Heisman odds when I was looking at him.
they do. But I will say the best player in the West is Muhammad Ibrahim.
Yes.
He is. I mean, he's something that's pretty special. Obviously, we've seen last time we played him. If he doesn't get hurt,
Minnesota wins that game.
I mean, the dude has 1,500 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns.
Insane.
Look up Illinois' running back because he's probably just as good as him.
Oh,
He's really good, actually.
He is good.
Cam Brown.
Yeah, he's
there, Brown.
Yeah, because he had 148 yards against Michigan.
Michigan couldn't stop the run. Going back to Justin's point, OSU needs to run.
Exactly.
But see, Illinois, they're literally the October pretenders, November contender. Like they're pretenders in November because they have not won a game in November.
No, they haven't. But I'm telling you, defense travels.
Like you lost to Michigan State, Purdue, Michigan all in a row. You do end with weak ass Northwestern. Hey, I can't even say that because we struggled, but we had 50-mile wins. But now I'm pulling up his things right now because he is.
Yeah, that Illinois running back Chase Brown has 1,582 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, he only
Chase
has
Brown's no joke either.
9 touchdowns. Ibrahim has 19.
I'm just saying. I mean, he's
Their
up there with
offense,
the yards,
their offense is just better. I don't mean he's necessarily better than Chase Brown.
I mean, I've seen Ibrahim more, and I've seen him against Ohio State. So
That was shitty OSU defense era.
Oh, don't get me started on that because there's a lot of games this year. If we had that defense, this year, we would have 3 losses.
Oh, God.
Yes.
So shout out to Knowles because I remember when they hired him, I was like, dude, we're paying $2 million for Knowles, and I was like, all right.
I'm so glad we did.
I'm glad we did too.
Martin, you're the reason why we got Knowles.
I know you were calling for that dude's job every time Justin was editing. He could have made it if there was $1 every time you said Kerry Combs needs to get fired. Justin be rich.
I could have made a whole breakout video. Shit, probably 10 minutes long of Kerry Combs still have a job. Like
he needs to quit. He needs to be fired.
he was getting passionate.
He was
It
because
had to be said.
they were getting
Like,
cooked.
even when my man was up in the booth, they thought they could hide him. Byron's like, nah, he's up there calling plays. He needs to be gone.
I will say also before we get to some scores, I did put down in my notes CJ Stroud because this is kind of almost mirroring now if the 06 thing with this game is where Troy Smith 4 TDs, no picks, sealed the Heisman. Just like Justin said earlier, if CJ is going to win the Heisman, it's this game. And we have not had a Heisman winner since Troy Smith in 06. We've had some finalists. The most disrespected one, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. I don't know how you have 50 touchdowns and you get treated like a stepchild, but it is what it is.
Who won that year? Was it
It was
the quarterback from
it was Kyler.
Kyler?
Kyler won because Tua got hurt that year because Tua was the favorite. Then he got hurt, but then Dwayne Haskins had 50 touchdowns. But then we got Kerry Combs' defense, and we got our asses whooped by Purdue. We almost lost by 30. We lost by 29.
Kyler probably had close to 50 touchdowns. So come on now, the dude was fucking going off in college. Kyler Duty, like that man could play the video games and still go on and eat back then.
He had 42 touchdowns and 7 picks that year because I have all the Heisman people with me.
You gotta show the rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he was rushing on people that year.
Yeah, one moment. But while we're doing that as soon as this is coming.
Why are you
out.
looking at a question for you guys? Do you think Jackson Smith and Jigba plays on Saturday?
I don't think he plays the rest of the year.
I don't think he plays the year.
Yeah, I don't know why would he.
Yeah, I don't think he does either.
He's about to pull Jamar Chase.
You know who didn't pull Jamar Chase? Jalen Waddle.
Well, he did come back in that game against us.
Yeah, Sean Wade. I forgot about you, homie.
But Jamar
The
Chase.
fucking leg brace song was shitting on you. This is fucking crazy.
But Jamar Chase, he did sit out. Yeah, he's out the COVID year, the whole 2020.
Yeah, I mean Jackson Smith and Jigma he's been hurt all year. I mean hamstrings are tricky.
Yeah.
But I don't see him coming back when he's going to be a first round pick. Like he's too talented not to be drafted in the first round. So he only stands to lose if he comes out and gets hurt against Michigan.
Yeah.
I agree, especially this year. Now, if it was like the draft next year, I don't know about first round because there's a lot more receivers who are going to be out next year, especially from Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, if he wasn't hurt, we would not get this Marvin Harrison.
That is true. He has been going off this year.
Big fact. Big
He's
fan.
made some ridiculous catches look easy. I'm like, how?
Justin, to your thing, he had 11 rushing touchdowns.
Lincoln Ryan QBs, man. That man will get you to the NFL. I promise you.
Even
He'll
if
get you there.
Will go.
He gonna lose in the playoffs. He gonna go to the playoffs and get blown out. But goddamn it, he's gonna have a hard quarterback.
Yeah, because that was back to back. I think it was the first time since Reggie and Liner were two.
Back to same team.
Yeah, because it was Bills Baker the year before, and then Kyler the next year, and then
Man, how time has really shown the truth of that one.
Hey, college is different than the NFL, man.
That's big facts. That is big facts.
Like it's really because I'm looking at these ones. Hence why I said Hooker was gonna win at that point because you beat Alabama, you usually win, a la Johnny Manziel in 2012. But
if Hendon Hooker would have finished the year after that Bama game undefeated, he would have won the Heisman.
Thanks.
Yeah, because if you look at the past couple Heisman winners, Bryce Young, Alabama, Devontae Smith, Alabama, Joe Burrow, LSU, Murray, Oklahoma, Baker, Oklahoma, 2016, Lamar Jackson, Louisville, and 2015, Derrick Henry, Alabama, and then 14, Mariota, and then last one of the BCS era, Jameis Winston, Jameis Winston, went undefeated that year.
Yeah.
Mr. Crab Legs eat the W's himself.
I was eating them W's.
I mean, his last 2 years, his Heisman year and his last year before leaving, he only lost one game, and that was the playoff game to Oregon.
And got Jimbo Fisher. How much, Biggie?
90,
How much money did my man Jameis get, Jimbo?
$95 million.
95 million.
The name, man.
95 million.
And the craziest thing
Fully
is
guaranteed. Fully guaranteed.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is those years after Jameis left, he was terrible at Florida State. He was trash.
Yes, he was. And then Texas A&M got him, and yep, it's fully guaranteed. If they fire him by New Year's, they would owe him $85 million.
And his best season at A&M was the fucking COVID year. That was his best season.
Oh, and you know what? And he also was bitching how Ohio State should not get in because they only played 6 games. And he said, our only loss was to Alabama, and they had a player named Jalen Waddle. Remember him? And I was like, well, that's true, but you have a loss, man. Sorry. I mean, look, man. Texas people got money. If they really want him out, that just hurts to say you have to pay a dude $85 million to leave.
And he will gladly take that $85 million and sit his ass at home too. Like,
yep,
it's a come up.
Yeah,
Him getting fired is honestly going to be a come up. I wouldn't want to come back to A&M if I'm him. I'm gonna pull the Ed Orgeron. They told that nigga you asked. He said, which door you want me to walk out of?
Yeah, because he had to get paid a couple bills too. I always just laugh because I'm like texting him, who do you really think y'all are? Y'all got back on the map because of Kevin Sumlin and Johnny Manziel. Kevin Sumlin has a better record at this point than freaking Jimbo did, and obviously you like Kevin, you're out. Jimbo, you're in. And results haven't happened.
And they barely beat UMass this week, the worst team in college football.
And they
barely beat them. They were bullshitting.
And they get top 3 recruiting classes every year.
It's crazy. It doesn't make sense.
They don't win shit.
Jimbo makes it happen for him, baby.
He can recruit. I mean, the guy can do things. It's just, man, he peaked at 2013.
I'm telling you, in 5 years, we're going to see some type of scandal happen. I'm just waiting for Pacino's shoe to drop.
They all cheat, Cedric.
I know, but he's the one that's going to get caught, Justin. He's so stupid.
Jesus. Oh. No one can take that. No one can take that title away from him. That's all. That's all he can. Yeah. That's all he can say. And he's beaten his men. No, has he beaten Saban? Yeah, they beat Saban last year. Yeah.
Title away. Go ask the good coach Joe Pa. All right, go talk. Listen, they find some shit. They take that title away.
No, well, as Justin said, everyone's cheating now, and cheating is legal. NIL is legal.
Yeah, so, I'm telling you, he was doing it before it was legal. That's what I'm saying.
100%.
Stupid.
100%.
Finessing people like that.
They got
smooth like Saban.
They have an over $100 million Texas A&M collective thing and
insurance.
Nah, I guess if you want to call the NIL collective insurance, but that's a whole episode.
Whistle blow his ass and then maybe save him.
We'll see. Now, I will say this, because if he's still in here listening, Chuck, do not lose to Texas A&M.
Oh, no.
Do not do it. Do not do it. Because I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
I cannot see. Do you know the hell that would happen if they lose to Texas A&M and then beat Georgia, and then they're like, man, we got to put a 3-loss team in the playoff.
We might have to send...
No, I don't give a fuck.
No. Man, if the Cowboys lose on Thursday and LSU loses on fucking Saturday, someone go do a wellness check on Chuck. Please. That man's going to need a wellness check.
That man said, when's the last down supposed to I'm going to need a wellness check? You said that too. You need a wellness check in about an hour.
Oh, yeah. 2 weeks ago, I was going through it.
It was tough. All right. Final scores. Justin, start with you. What's your final score and who is winning?
I'm going to say we're going to have a lower scoring affair because of the rain. I'm going to say Ohio State wins the game 24-21. Last second field goal. Actually, no. They're going to hit a field goal about a minute left, and Michigan ain't going to be able to get down there and get one.
I like 24-21.
Yep.
I like that score in the rain. I like that. Byron, we're gonna leave you last because we know you're gonna get passionate. So I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go, man. I'm gonna take 27-24 Ohio State. Mm-hmm. I think Ohio State. I think it's gonna be a nice, planned out, methodical game. We're just gonna beat Michigan to the ground with the run game. I do think CJ is going to make clutch plays in the fourth quarter, and I think that is how we are going to win this game. Because, like we said earlier, if Michigan starts turning the ball over, they're dead. They're going to get smoked. Because they can't keep up with the OSU. Well, if the OSU offense is playing like the OSU offense. But I'm going to say 27-24 because of the rain. Cedric?
Man. I'm going to say 24-17. I'm going to give us a touchdown win. I'm going to say Michigan has the ball. Minute left, trying to get the job done, trying to send it to overtime, but just can't get it done. Our defense is going to come up big.
I like it. Byron?
You know what? I don't care. I'm doing 35-21 Ohio State.
I'll just take us to a blowout.
It's a 2-touchdown lead.
Two touchdowns in a rivalry game, that's a blowout.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
35.
Oh,
That's good
Jesus.
margin. That's good margin.
35-21.
So-
Revenge game.
I was gonna say, what's your reason? What's your reasoning? This, Pat.
Reasoning, I think C.J. Stroud is gonna have the game of his life. Win that Heisman.
The
Okay.
game of his life. 35 points is the game of his life.
All 5 touchdown, yeah.
They're all going to be passing touchdowns?
Wait.
In the rain? Nigga, you brave.
You said 8% chance or 80% chance of rain?
80% chance. It's raining.
80%.
Dog.
I'm saying, like,
It's
you
raining,
brave.
dog.
Hey, I feel
No,
it,
still
though.
going 35-21.
I'll say, I feel it, though. You brave as fuck. I feel it.
There's two things actually in the chat. Patrick said he has 45-21.
That nigga drunk.
Just leave the chat.
And
He's drunk. Send him
And
off.
then he said LSU would not get in the playoffs with 3 losses. I will say by this time next year, they will still be. Remember, when it gets to 12, everyone's fucking in.
All you gotta do is make it to that 12th spot. You're
Because currently, right now, in the 12 format, Kansas State's the last team in the playoffs.
Man, don't sleep on
Kansas
Kansas
State?
State, bro. Don't sleep on Kansas State.
I'm not. But you know who beat them? TCU.
Yeah, bro,
Their quarterback got hurt.
Bro,
Martinez didn't play.
TCU's really been my dog since that Kansas game. Because that Kansas game was hard.
I don't know how they keep winning, but their offense. Hey, they're.
Oh,
play
speaking
offense,
of
they
that,
can fucking score.
since you brought up the Cowboys, how come TCU has better clock management than the Cowboys? Did you see how they ran that ball?
That
yeah.
was crazy.
They
I watched that highlight
Yes!
before we got on. I don't know how the fuck they were able. First of all, that was not a good decision. I don't know why they ran that ball. They got lucky.
Agreed,
They got
agreed.
lucky. That is why TCU is not going to go undefeated. Like,
Hey.
they should have lost that shit. But that was. I gotta give the special teams coach credit. They got them out there lined up. Didn't get penalty. Nothing. Like that was beautiful. But still, I don't know how the fuck they did that. I do not know why they ran that ball. They only got like 2 yards too. They could have just
I know.
tried to throw an out route and yeah, but that was impressive. That was definitely impressive. But the Cowboy shot was not necessary.
Just because hey, that time management against last year against the 49ers. But no, going back to the 3-team loss thing, just saying like when we're doing this at this time, in 2024, when it gets fully implemented, Kansas State has 3 losses. They'd be in like there'd be a whole bunch of teams. Tennessee would still be in. Oregon, Clemson. After 2024, if Ohio State's not in the playoffs, if they have a good team, that coach is getting fired
I said, that's when you say we want his job.
because that's
Right,
12 spots.
Right.
That's probably gonna put a lot of fucking pressure on like big teams. Like the A&Ms of the world, the Floridas of the world. Like some of these like big name brands who like haven't really been doing shit with a 12-team playoff. You don't really have an excuse if you one of those teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah, Martin, you may get your wish. Jimbo may get fired.
I'm conflicted, dude. I don't want him
I don't think
going.
he's gonna make it to that. He ain't gonna make it to the 12.
2024? Ooh,
The rate he's going, he ain't gonna make it then.
So you think they're gonna break bread with them?
85
Was it
million.
8 million a year?
That's if they break bread with him this New Year's Day, they owe him 85 million.
But other than that, it's $8 million a year, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That could be used towards NILs.
I'm telling you, if he has another if he's retained for next season and he has another season where he's not about to make a fucking bowl game, he is going to get fired before this season is over.
Do remember too? They
Probably.
started the number 6 team in the country.
Yeah. If he
They
doesn't
bowl
get
eligible?
No,
no, he ain't
wow.
fucking bowl eligible.
they almost lost to UMass, bro.
But they really get their asses whooped this year.
Dang. A&M?
Yeah, it's really bad. That's why I harp on them all because you have all that money, you have all the boosters, you have all the facilities, you get all the top. They get top 3 recruits,
They have dudes.
and they can't win shit. They
That's
cannot
got to be
win.
a coaching error. Jimbo will cut loose with some people before he go.
Byron, they are 4-7. They were on a 1, 2, 3. They were on a 6-game losing streak before beating UMass.
The worst team in the FBS. The worst team.
And
1-10.
And when they were playing bad that game in the first half, a lot of their fans left. They didn't even
I don't
stay.
know why they fans showed up.
They play
They ain't
at.
going nowhere.
This is their Super Bowl though. They got LSU at night on ESPN.
Where at?
Texas.
At Texas.
Listen, they better all show out for that because that's the last night game they get. Damn it.
They were a 2-point man. They were 2 yards away from beating Bama at Bama. That's how funny.
That's what really took
were.
the wind out of the sail. They're like, once that happened, Jim was like, "Fuck it, I don't even care what happened."
It's crazy how football is that crazy. It's crazy. 2 yards,
Because we
man.
couldn't beat Saban. Fuck it. That's what this team was geared for, to beat Bama. We can't beat nobody else.
That
2 yards.
shit football team. That shit football team almost beat Alabama.
They almost beat Ole Miss. They lost by 3.
Like I said, we're engineered for one thing and one thing only.
They beat number 13 Miami at that time. They were 13. They beat number 10 Arkansas.
Miami's trash too. They're really bad.
They're bad
they
too.
Fell off.
And whatchamacallit, that coach, that coach,
bad.
he never should have left Oregon. Cristobal.
Mario Cristobal.
And he was talking that shit like, dude, calm down. You have no titles. Let's calm down. Let's calm down.
He's from Miami though, so
I know.
that pull to go home was pretty big for him, but he's looking like an idiot for going there. But the thing was, they were talking so much shit too. Like I was at Dan Lebertard show, and they're all Miami all the time. So they were talking so much shit, and every loss they're just defeated on that podcast.
This is what I also say. This is what I say with the power of the SEC too. Remember, Texas A&M lost their second game to Appalachian State, and they were still in the top 25. They were still in the top 25.
That's power right there. That's because he making that $80 million contract. That's why they have faith in Jimbo.
Anyone else, they'd be out of the top 100. Michigan was out.
That's SEC, bro. That's SEC power, bro.
They said, oh, you lost to Appalachian State for 17-14 at your place, and you paid Appalachian State $1 million to come play you, and you lose.
That's great money right there. That's great hustle.
App State be running the Sun Belt though.
They're strong, but
they're a bad football team, but A&M should not be losing them at home under any circumstance.
Currently,
Martin, you know what their mascot is, right?
Isn't it a raccoon? It's not a raccoon.
It's a mountaineer.
Mountaineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. They climbed that shit.
That's true. Oh, LSU's only a 10-point favorite.
It is at Texas.
Wait. Man, come on. Martin, you're reading too much into it. They got it.
Hey, also, fuck the bettors who said Texas was going to beat TCU. Just saying. I'm never letting that one go either.
7-point favorites.
Why are you speaking to me personally, dog?
I'm saying, y'all were crazy. Y'all were crazy acting like Texas was something. Man, even though they should have beat Bama too if Quinn Ewers didn't get hurt. But
that was a game that fucking... Actually, no, the Texas Tech game was... Well, I really should have been like, I don't know about Texas, but I thought that they were going to do it at home. They were. Let's not talk about that. I'm about to get mad all over it.
All right, we all got the Buckeyes winning this game, which would then put us in the Big Ten championship game and win that and back in the playoffs. Selection Sunday is December 4th.
Dear Lord.
We'd find out if we.
Oh boy.
As long as we win these next two, this is what the whole season's been building towards. Everyone wants OSU Michigan winner take all. We're at it again. Both teams undefeated. You don't get any bigger than this.
Just gotta handle business and execute this next game, and then if you win that, execute the next game against whatever shit comes out the Big Ten West, and you'll be where you want to be.
Yep.
Shit, if the Buckeyes lose and the Saints lose, someone needs to do a wellness check on Byron.
Oh no!
Yeah, because we play the 49ers this weekend.
Oh, you guys are gonna. You guys are going. You guys are going to lose.
Get ugly.
No, you guys are going. That one's. I'm sorry, Brian. You're getting smoked.
I know.
Jimmy G was out here slinging that rock.
Hey, I've told Justin on the podcast repeatedly. I think that's the best team in the NFL when they're fully healthy.
Oh my God, the 49ers are a fucking problem. Jimmy,
I agree.
Jimmy G is not good, but it doesn't matter because that team is so hard.
Well, they resonate with the dude. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. They rock with him.
I'm just telling you, when you have fucking Christian McCaffrey that you can turn around and hand off to, you have Ayuk out there, you have fucking Debo that you can throw it and hand it off to, you got George Kittle, Eli Mitchell ain't no slouch. Everyone on the defense is hard. Like, San Francisco's dangerous.
Yeah.
They're strong.
I'm not looking forward to Sunday, but
At least we'll have a Buckeye win for you, hopefully.
Hopefully, man. Yeah, if
If you have to pick and choose, you'd rather have the Buckeye win. Let's be real.
yes, I would rather have the Buckeye win.
At this point in the season, yes.
Yes. They are playing for way much more than the Saints are. The Saints are just playing for pride right now.
Justin, you putting money on the game?
On which game?
OSU, Michigan.
I'm probably gonna do it. Shit, the bet.
You put money on USC Notre Dame?
That's a good one to bet on.
I got him pulled.
Yeah.
I got him pulled up. Let me see what the line is.
Hey,
I don't know because I really want OSU to actually win that game. I don't like fucking betting on like teams I have like rooting interest in.
I need Brother Freeman to do it, man.
I did bet on the Cowboys this one weekend though, and they fucking they stopped Minnesota. Thank God.
You bet on them for Thanksgiving, y'all should be able to close out.
That's a big line. I don't know. I think we're gonna win, but I don't know if we're gonna cover.
Cedric,
We be bullshitting on Thanksgiving.
Cedric, the amount of years this man Justin has been at my house during Cowboys games at 4:20 something, and they're just getting their asses whooped, and my dad's like, Justin, what's wrong?
Seeing that bitch in the Birds of Tears, bro, it's not fun.
Y'all play every Thanksgiving, man. It's the G, man. Y'all got this. I got faith in y'all.
Giants? Mm.
It's a big NFC East.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones for them for sure. Like, this is it right now. You need this win.
Cedric, y'all need to figure some shit out. The
Oh.
Eagles were out.
Hey.
The Eagles were out. Jordan Davis, bro. Y'all can't stop. Y'all can't stop the run no more.
No shit, we can't stop the way you saw me signed him. And Dominican Sue.
Y'all going through it.
We hired a nigga who stomps on people's heads. We're trying to find whatever it takes.
Oh my
man.
God.
We trying, bro. At least we hiring people.
Hey,
Y'all niggas still trying to run the same shit that don't work.
Oh no.
Well, we went back to the well against the Vikings. We just ran that bitch and you saw what happened.
Listen, Tony Pollard, I'm sorry. If he's listening, bro, you need to escape. Get out.
Oh.
That nigga's too hard for y'all, bro. That nigga got 2 receiving touchdowns over 100 yards receiving. That nigga doing all types of things and he coming off the bench. Y'all
Bro.
ain't grateful. Y'all need to free my nigga, man.
He gets more touches, bro, than Zeke. It's fine. USC's a 5-point favorite against Notre Dame. That looks tasty. I'm not gonna lie, but they don't play no fucking defense, so I don't know.
And Notre Dame is hot at the right time.
Yeah, but shit becomes a shootout. I don't know if Notre Dame can keep up. That's the thing.
I don't either. But they doing something over it. Freeman done changed them boys after that Marshall loss.
He got them together. Respect.
And we go there next year with a new quarterback.
He'll be okay. He'll be okay.
Shout out to OSU for scheduling people. Alabama would never.
Oh, we're back. We're back. See, I will say with Urban wasn't really scheduling people like that. Like Tressel, he scheduled any fucking body. Like,
SEC mentality. Urban, know what he doing.
then Ryan Day came back. He's like, yeah, we got to start scheduling people. But, Justin, everyone might be the SEC mentality when the playoff goes to 12.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Why would you risk it?
Oh shit! They already got some lines from the conference champ games next week. Georgia right now is a 15-point favorite.
They're going to win by 28.
Damn.
And Clemson is a 7.5-point favorite against North Carolina.
That North Carolina QB's climbing up the NFL depth charts.
He's only a freshman.
I know, but people are already talking about him like 3 years from now being like the top pick.
Yeah, he's pretty legit though. He's pretty good.
I don't know the last North Carolina. Go ahead.
He has 3,600 yards already.
Bruh, it's real out here.
And, the last North Carolina quarterback who was good was Mr. Trubisky, so we'll see about that.
Well, yeah.
We'll see. But also, if we're doing football, quick shout-outs. Justin, I got to shout them out because it's their first time in the Final Four since 1982. Shout out Gahanna Lincoln Lions.
Hey! Oh, woo! We play St. Ed's.
They're
This is
gonna
Ohio-
They're gonna
this is
get
Ohio-
killed. They're gonna get killed.
I know. This is Ohio Division I state football Final Four. Me and Martin's alma mater, Gahanna Lincoln Lions, are in there. We play the cheating Cleveland Catholic School.
Cheating?
They're the Alabama of Ohio, bro.
Yeah, they be cheating.
Oh, damn.
They ain't that bad. They ain't as bad as Ignatius.
Pick Central's bad too. They had a
Yeah.
bad year this year.
So all these Catholic schools, if you're not from Ohio, all these Catholic schools, all boys Catholic schools, they just they pick all the talent from the public schools that they want. So you're
Yeah.
always at an inherent disadvantage against them. So Gahanna gonna get their ass beat, but
Voucher.
it's a big deal just getting there.
Oh yeah, because no one saw Gahanna this. Nah, they've made a lot of history. They got some boys on there. Got the defensive ends going to Cincinnati. Like they got some players.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
But nah, this Saturday in Mansfield, it's over for them. They're getting smoked.
Who's in Cincinnati right now? Because I know they always have someone nice on there. Like Moeller's normally up there.
Mueller is actually.
I think
they are good too.
It's probably Mueller. Let me check.
Yeah, pull that
real quick.
because they are good too. Like I know Mueller. I know St. Woo!
Yeah, I just know if it comes down to like a fucking Catholic school, like Gahanna can't beat them. Like we used to scrimmage St. Ed's back in the day. They came down to Gahanna my senior year, and they had like 3 niggas on that defensive line going to Michigan. I was like, whoa.
Well, remember when Gahanna?
Don't fuck around.
Remember during the Trussell era where Gahanna was scheduled in Glenville?
Ooh. Yep.
Yeah, I'll never forget going to that shit.
That was the wildest game I've ever been to in high school football.
Yeah, it's Mueller who
Gahanna
came
versus
out of
Glenville?
Yeah, Mueller came out of Cincinnati. So even if Gahanna could somehow beat St. Ed's, they're not beating.
Who was Mueller playing?
Springfield.
Oh, that-
Springfield High.
They're gonna beat the dog shit out of them. And Gahanna's playing in Mansfield, so
What the fuck, Mansfield?
the game's in Mansfield.
What
really?
the
All
fuck?
the way down there?
Yeah, it's
I
in
mean,
Mansfield.
I mean,
I
that's
guess that's close to halfway.
It is halfway. It's right between Cleveland and Columbus, but
Yeah.
still though.
In the middle. Okay.
This Saturday, I believe. This Friday.
Yeah, it's on Friday.
Yeah, Friday at 7.
All right.
So I'll be tuning in. We'll see. But anything else,
I hope
y'all?
win.
Cedric, I appreciate it, but no, we're not gonna win.
Bro, I need to talk shit. Be like, y'all saying that, dudes. Y'all need to shut the fuck up.
Nah.
Y'all ain't graduated since 1960, 1970. Shut the hell up, y'all lost.
Well, speaking of that, Cedric, great point. Buckeye fans, let's keep it quiet till 3:30.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I made the mistake, and I'm just a supporter for God's sake. But I was in one of my group messages talking shit to the Michigan fans. I'm like, y'all about to blow this shit for us. And you know what? The Ohio State almost blew it. And I had to shut the fuck up. I was sipping the Kool-Aid. I be getting excited sometimes.
Let's calm down and let's get to 3:30 so then we can hopefully celebrate. But any other football things? Thanksgiving's up 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick, I hope we win. There's only 2 options. We either win or lose.
Duh.
So I'm hoping we win. I mean, last year I was more confident about the team last year than obviously we saw what happened last year.
Yeah.
80% chance of rain. Damn. What's the temperature? Can that rain turn to snow?
No, it's gonna be like 50.
Okay.
Yeah. No snow.
Okay.
No, and then that nigga's still gonna try to throw at least a couple.
I mean, if it's not raining too bad, you'll be able to throw. But if it's fucking rain sideways and it's windy, there's
Agreed.
no chance.
I believe we're going to win, too. I mean, I'm hoping. I'm trying to get back to the playoffs. Because if we don't win the championship this year, it's going to take some years. Because, unfortunately, my hated rivals down at Atlanta, Georgia, they're really good.
They are really good. Man, they really
Bro,
impressed me.
Stetson Bennett
Tennessee.
has to graduate.
Yeah, and we all know next year, I've already Saban, they're coming back.
Oh,
That's it, but it is not good.
He's not, but wait till Alabama next year. Oh, my God.
this is the end of his life. Like, this is it. That's all he's playing for right now. Is like for another college football championship.
That's true.
Stetson the fucking accountant.
Hey. No,
Have
he'll-
that man do your taxes next year when he's a CPA.
No, he'll be in the booth. Look at Greg McElroy. Well, he did get a couple. Yeah, he's in the booth, and he won a title at Bama.
Bro, but how? Like, was he immediately in the booth? That nigga has to do an internship somewhere.
Yeah, he wasn't immediately in the. He wasn't immediately. He
There's
does.
even Kellen Moore.
Well,
Kellen Moore's a good
You know
offensive
Kellen Moore,
coordinator.
Justin?
Well,
Yeah.
I will say if he wants to coach or broadcast, he can do that. But like, if he's not doing anything football related, I think he's an accountant.
Yes, but no, I'm just saying
Insurance
next year.
salesman.
Just wait. We know next year Alabama's going to come with hell. We already know what happens after they have like a bad year.
And last year was supposed to be the bad year, for real,
Mm-hmm.
for Bama.
And they're just like, oh, we're just gonna go to the title game. They got.
He's gonna get sick of doing this eventually. Like Saban's gonna get sick of winning all the time. Like, nigga, go
physically
retire.
Sick. That's the only way he gone is if he's physically sick.
You think he wants to get to? You think he wants to get to 10?
Probably.
Which would be absurd to think about.
Because what
Both
is
hands.
he, 7?
I think
hands.
he's 7. Yeah, he's
That's
at
like-
7.
That's like greatest coach of all time, any sport levels of
Mm-hmm.
level. You get 10.
Yeah, is that what he wants?
I don't know what he wants.
That's what I'm telling you, bro. Coaches are crazy. Yeah, he got 7. He has 7 national championships.
God damn.
I mean, Urban Meyer's doing well on the big dude set, but he might get.
Well, Justin, that's because his media made the world forget what happened in Jacksonville.
Ain't nobody forget what the fuck
No one
happened.
forgot. No one forgot that.
No,
shit.
they don't talk. They don't know. They don't talk about it. They introduce him as former OSU coach. They say
Of course, they're
former.
not going to talk about that shit.
See, that made you forget.
I did not.
Martin, ain't nobody forget about that nigga. Ain't nobody forget what he did in Columbus, and I ain't talking about with the Buckeyes. I'm talking about twerking a little girl. Okay?
I'm just saying that man was a. See, that's another coach, Justin. He had no business going to the NFL. He could have just kept his ass in college, even though he I mean, they might fire Jimbo and give Urban that job.
Stop.
Uh-oh.
You think he would go?
He's a competitor. He's a competitor.
He's
Stop, bro.
he's a
good, bro.
Cedric. You don't understand this man's mentality. That nigga is a junkie. That he needs it.
Yeah, he
He's the
does.
top.
He does.
He does. Like,
Bro, but he ain't cheap.
yes, he did. They all cheat. Cedric, stop saying that shit.
No, he said cheap.
He ain't cheap.
Like he's
Oh.
gonna cost some money.
2 years, they're gonna pay at least this nigga $10 million a year.
Bro, they got the oil money. You know this.
Look, man, all I know
Michigan?
is
No,
Bruh.
A&M.
hey,
Oh, you're saying A&M. I thought you were talking about going to Michigan.
man, I don't know, man. You gotta separate Jimbo. You gotta keep paying Jimbo and paying. That's I don't know.
Well, no, they write one. No, it's one big check if you get rid of Jimbo. You got to write it there.
You writing a
Yeah.
Yes, you have to write an $85 million
I know
check.
Texas loves football, but who the fuck is giving this nigga $80 million check?
To walk away.
To if I can get
You
Urban
think he
Meyer.
gonna listen?
If
all
I
know
had
is
the
he's
money,
trying to dodge taxes. He ain't trying to file all that shit at once.
Well, no state income tax in Texas.
if I love the Aggies and I had that much money, and it was between, I gotta give fucking Jimbo $80 million, and I can have Urban Meyer, whatever the
But
salary
it ain't
is.
free.
I'll do it. If
I
I'm
would- nah,
if
man.
I'm,
I'd
if I'm an
rather have to
A&M
film a
booster
couple
with the
more years.
with the juice, I'm doing it.
Look,
Just-
I done canceled many a contract and services. We gotta at least get to a point where I can stomach the loss.
I mean, if
I
you're,
ain't giving this nigga $80 million.
but
I'll give him 40.
just think
But I
about.
ain't giving him $80 million.
But if you look at Texas A&M, you really just think like, dude, Brian Kelly really just showed up to our conference and just won the West, like on his first year. And hey,
My business.
I know it's not your. I'm talking about from like a Texas A&M standpoint.
But think
Like,
about it though. What are they gonna do?
who if they
Who
got
they
Urban?
gonna be?
If they got
Who they
Urban
gonna
Meyer,
Bro, who are they gonna be? You think Urban Meyer's gonna walk into the SEC and start beating Nick Saban?
he's gonna
You
be.
think Urban Meyer's gonna walk into the SEC and start beating Kirby Shaw?
Yeah, he did it
Kirby
when
He's gonna walk into the
Kirby
SEC and
smart.
Start whooping all these niggas' asses. Stop.
He did when he hold on. He was winning in the SEC when he had Timothy.
And
Yeah,
and,
Timothy
and
Tebow.
Brian
But he
Kelly
built that program in the SEC for Florida.
That's true.
and Brian Kelly literally came in and beat Saban his first year. This year.
Yeah, this is Brian Kelly. He had his whole family.
I can't even do the accent. I have to show my man respect.
And Urban Meyer, like, Urban Meyer is a GOAT coach in college football. Like, please don't forget what this man has done. Like,
haven't
remember
forgotten. I'm
what the OSU does the spending year 12-0. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can just like uproot Jimbo, because I mean Jimbo's fucked up all types of shit.
Urban Meyer's a three-time national champ, 2 at Florida and 1 at Ohio State. I
he
mean,
gets his guys in. Urban has proved that he can develop 5-star talent. Jimbo is not.
Now-
Urban
I
has
believe he can
proved
develop
that.
it. But it ain't cheap. How much were we paying Urban?
The market different now.
yeah.
The
So
market different. The
It's
fuck-
different now.
I bet you. Listen,
It's going to be more, is what I'm trying
I was
to
gonna
say.
say like Urban gonna be asking for damn money. Like, listen, you making me come out of here? I got this nice cozy job for the food. You making me have to go back to the elements?
He did it twice.
You know what my temptation is? These college girls are gonna have me back out there again.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like he won't get in that much trouble in College Station.
What you saying? What I'm hearing, Justin, is he won't get caught in College Station.
I mean, when Urban left, we had to
pretty
pay,
much.
When Urban left, we had to pay him $48 million.
And you talking about breaking bread with Jumbo for 80?
I'm
and
Cedric,
then paying that nigga.
You're not understanding these fucking boosters, dog. Like, they don't give a fuck. They don't care.
They suck right now. Where's the money coming from?
LSU fucking fired Ed Orgeron a year after a fucking natty. Like, it's different down there in the South.
That and natty, and also let's just be real, that natty was an anomaly.
Absolutely, it's LSU's once every 10 years title. They always get one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
one every decade since I've been around. We got one with Saban, and then you got one with Les, and then you got one with Ed. Besides that, they thumbs on their ass.
They got talent down in Louisiana, though.
They do too, but
yeah.
they ain't like. That's when you separate like the Ohio States, the Alabamas, and Clemson's. Like now, Clemson, like this era, like they're consistent.
Yeah.
These other ones, like USC is good. I can't, man. And USC will be in the Big Ten in 2 years. Oh, they're going to be in the West. You're going to have OSU, USC title games.
Yeah, UCLA too.
Lincoln Riley has proved that Lincoln Riley has proved that he can sustain success too. So
he didn't deserve a jet, dude.
ain't going to defend the jet or nothing, but he's a good coach.
I'll just never forget when I was laying on my couch and I saw that deal. That is maybe the second worst deal I've seen in my entire watching of anything. Worst, wrestling wise, Hulk Hogan's WCW contract. That was the worst deal ever.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Don't give niggas creative control.
Yeah.
Facts.
Especially a person who was saying, "Hey, brother," and he wanted to say something else. But
bro, did y'all see that?
Oh my!
Y'all see that shit on Twitter? It was like some dude playing the WWE 2K22, and it was like eight black wrestlers. It's all bullying Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
That's how them boosters are gonna bully Jimbo Fisher out of Texas. I'm just saying. But all right. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the live L7C podcast. We really had a great time doing this. Ohio State, Michigan, 12 o'clock this Saturday. We hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Make sure you're watching football because literally the next week, Justin will be back reviewing the Thanksgiving games. It's funny how the schedule works. And we'll be back talking about...
What happened?
What happened? So with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Signing out. And